what has been like? When was the last time we had a show?
2 weeks probably. Last time they played Virginia, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I haven't had a pinned tweet since then.
Because you've been slacking. That's why.
Man, I needed a vacation. Dealing with you all the time.
That's crazy.
I was just in the neck of the woods, Ryan.
I know, man. How was it?
It was very cold.
Yeah, man. Welcome to Minnesota in February.
I'm new to this, but I like Duke.
Why is that light doing that? I will go from this side.
Yes, sir. Revenge. Revenge.
Oh, I gotta tweet it out.
It wasn't a memorable UVA game, but hey, a win is a win, man. We'll wait till people get in here. Classy team? What do you mean by that? Classy team. Oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about, Paolo struggles and whatnot. Ah man. Hey, we won though. Better not be no negative chat today. It's a win. It's a win.
Nobody outside of Kentucky cares about that rivalry.
Exactly.
Who cares about
wins 2015 or 2010, and everybody is saying 2015. So
just got back up here at Durham a couple days ago. So been in the gym a little bit. Me and Joey been in the gym working out together.
As Duke fans, as Duke coaches, because I get excited over there, even in my suit, I'm grabbing Coach Tyler's leg, like.
We're back. It's been like 2 weeks. Whoa, why is Ryan on this side? Get to your side, buddy. It's been like 2 weeks. We've been away. A lot has happened, but tonight they gotta win. They got the revenge on Virginia. It wasn't pretty at points, but you can't complain. They won. So first thoughts, yeah. No negatives. I mean, we're gonna harp on some negatives because there are probably some negatives to talk about. But let's keep it positive. Ryan, start us off, man.
Well, first,
wait. Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Just shout out to TickPick, man. Shout out to TickPick, man. Use code Duke Nation at checkout to get some money off of those tickets. Now you're trying to see Coach K in this final season. So, my first thoughts, man. First of all, Jeremy Roach. Probably one of the best games of his career, if not the best game of his career. I can't think of bigger moments where he stepped up in his time at Duke. And then AJ Griffin, man, quiet all night, played really well defensively. But then towards the end of the game, he goes on a little run of his own, scores 8 straight, and kind of lifted this team to victory. Without those baskets, I don't know where we get points tonight. So the only downfall is, and we'll talk about it, is Paolo. But this game is tough. I'm all for giving Paolo a little bit of crap for this game, but I mean they doubled him in the first half. The adjustment was seemed like to give him the ball outside a little bit more and see if he can do a little bit more dribble penetration. But we'll talk more about that later. Russ, how about you?
Yeah, I mean Roach did real well. I was just double checking this. I think this is his career high in a winning effort, that he's had more points in games last year where he was fighting really hard to keep us in games where we just couldn't quite pull it out. He wants the ball in the big moments. He wants, he really lives for that. And that's the sort of mentality that sometimes this team, struggles with for stretches. So it's great to see that. My MVP obviously you got to give it to AJ Griffin too. Trevor Keels, 2 huge, I know I tweeted about this, but game-changing decisions. First of all, the decision to go for a 2-for-1 at the end of the first half, which was a 5-0 run. I mean, that's the margin of the game right there, right? Just those extra points that we could score. Should have been 6-0 if we made the free throw. I guess that's another negative we could talk about later.
He did make the pass. He made the pass to Paolo.
Yeah. And then in the second half, when I think Griffin was credited with the steal, tipped it out. Keels got the steal, and instead of pulling it back, which we've seen Duke do so many times down the stretch of close games over the year, he just says, "I'm going for the layup. I'm going in. I'm scoring forget the slow down, we've got the lead, strategy. We have more talent. The more possessions that are played, the more likely we are to win. So those two plays changed, really took the wind out of their sails, both at the end of the first and the end of the second.
Wait, but you said your MVP's Keels?
Honestly, might be for those two colossal game-changing moments that just destroyed their momentum both times. And I just love also that at the end of the game, when Paolo had the ball and it looked like it was going to be another sort of Paolo possession, he gave it to Keels because we said, hey, the lane is open. We don't really have a better player at getting downhill by himself than Trevor Keels is. So Paolo was sort of seeing that there was wide open space, that they were paying some attention to him, getting the ball to Keels so that Keels could do his thing. And the other thing is Keels is very physical. Mark played very physically this game, more so than in the last game. I liked the stretches where we played physical. I think that those are obviously the stretches that won us this game.
Yeah, I would say Jeremy Rose gets my MVP tonight. Because I feel like even down the stretch we didn't get him the rock enough. Obviously I think AJ made great plays individually. But yeah, Jeremy Roach, man. I personally was big on the it doesn't matter who obviously starts, but who finishes. But second half, to start that second half, I don't know why Jeremy Rhodes didn't.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a little weird to me. He was our best player by far. And K.A. Clark, after his little charade there, I think Jeremy did a great job on him. Yeah, but Jeremy Roach,
who do you take out though? If you and I'm not arguing, like I agree, Roach probably should have been out there more of the second half, but like, do you take out Keels or Griffin or more? Like all three of them had a pretty good all around game. Like who are you going to replace him with?
I'd probably take out in that instance to start the half. I'd probably take out. I'm not gonna say Wendell. I'd probably take out.
Why aren't you saying Wendell?
because at the same time, AJ wasn't not playing well, and AJ was struggling against the pack line defense because he didn't have that spacing. And AJ's not a guy that can. I told you guys this a long time ago. Ryan tried to kill me. He can't create his own shot. He's not very good at it. He can at times he'll step back and hit a threes, but he can't do it consistently. And especially against a good defense, he's not going to be able to break down
those 8 points. Say different. I'm pretty sure all of those were maybe one three was catch and shoot. The other one he pump fake and sidestepped. Yeah, created his own.
I said he can from time to time he will hit those shots, but he can't do it on a consistent basis like we'll see from who's like an elite Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum against the Virginia team smoked them down the stretch because he could create his own shot. And that's what you need against the pack line defense. But
Roach did the same thing.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, I think Coach K made the right moves. I think we went small, and it worked for the offense. And I don't think Virginia's a good offensive team to hurt us that much defensively. But he made the right move.
I got a question for you guys and the fans as well that are watching. Give me your from first to fourth. We can just go with who do you want, but when it comes to a late game situation, whose hands do you want the ball in? Pick one or rank them.
Are they creating an isolation, or are we talking about who's taking a shot?
Who is making who do you want going to make the play in the Final Four to go to the national championship game?
So they inbound the ball to somebody, and that person is the decision maker. That's the person I'm selecting, not the shooter necessarily.
Yes,
because the decisions will change based on whether they're the one taking the shot or.
Wait, repeat the question.
Basically, who do you want with the ball in their hands in the final seconds of a big game?
Oh, that's a really tough question. That's a really tough question.
Should have been an easy one, but
I still probably think it's relatively easy. I'm gonna go Paolo because Paolo shows the propensity to make that pass. Also, he's pretty good at picking his one-on-one mismatches. Obviously, this clearly just Gardner's got his number. Like I don't really know what's going on there, but like maybe there's a physicality thing that Gardner's throwing at him that Paolo just can't see from too many people. But his numbers had there. But normally Banchero is the guy who can create on his own really well, can handle, one of the better handlers on the team, definitely one of the better passers on the team. He's just got more of the complete package, I feel like, than any of the other guys, probably.
I don't disagree with all of that. My biggest hesitation with Paolo is the decision making and the shot selection, where yes, Paolo can get to the rim. Yes, Paolo can do a bunch of stuff.
Sometimes
But is he going to pop a J when he's got a mismatch, or is he going to step back three, or is he actually going to take it down low?
But Ryan, all of our guys who could be the decision maker down the stretch have all shown the propensity to just pop the J. Like all
You're
of
not
them.
wrong, but I think AJ and Keels are probably the two that who play with that Mamba mentality, that little killer instinct. I don't know, Zion. What do you think?
Keels was my other choice. That's my 1 and 2.
I see Jay Norris says Trevor, AJ, Paolo, Roach, Moore. I think Sean Davis said it. I just put on the screen. It really does change from game to game. Like it really does.
That's true.
It's there are times you want Paolo to have the ball, but like especially tonight when I saw him get the ISO, I saw him ISOing for a second before he did the dribble handoff to Trevor Keels. I was getting scared.
But he made the right choice.
Yeah, I think that was a design play. The dribble handoff to Trevor Keels going downhill. But I would say right now, Trevor Keels has to be my number one, just because I think there's so much of him going downhill either gives you a layup, a foul, or an opportunity for offensive rebound. So I think
but he's also had a lot of those games where he's shooting 2 for 11 and settling those shots too. Yeah, I do agree that I think Paolo and Trevor are kind of my easy 1 and 2 there. Like, and the person who said it changes game to game, I think that's fair. I think the thing you said about AJ earlier, Zion, probably prevents him from being in my top 2. However, if I want somebody to get kicked the ball for a shot to win the game, he's my number 1 guy with a bullet, right?
Oh, like, 100%. 100%.
So that is pretty easy.
One other question now, and this one's a little more off the cuff, and probably I might get ridiculed for even asking this, but ESPN today came out with the mock draft that had Paolo 3, AJ 4. Is there in any world that AJ passes Paolo by the end of the season?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I would say no, but
I think it's a small. I think it'd be like a 10 to 20% chance. Like it's not, but it's not a 0 chance. Is my point.
But if Paolo continues to play like this, then it's gonna get scary.
But we can't act like AJ had a consistent 35-minute night tonight. It was 8 points at the end of the game. That is great, and that counts. I mean, it counts. But I mean, this wall that you were talking about, Zion, that all of our freshmen run into, seems to be extending a little bit later into the season than we would expect. And it's not. And I will say, it's not a wall that we shouldn't be used to, because he's putting up double digits. Outside of the Virginia games, he's putting up double digits every night, but it's been almost a month since he's dropped 20, which, not saying we need him to, but it takes his team to a different level when he's dropping 20, 25.
This is the thing. I don't even need him to drop 20.
No.
I just need him to be efficient and consistent and take good shots. Like, if he's taking good shots, I'm not going to be mad at his performance. I think a lot of the problem tonight was he found himself especially when he got the ball, when we took out Mark and put in AJ, and Paolo got the ball on the perimeter. I think that was partly Coach K's fault, but
I think it was.
At that point, like, what are we doing?
I tweeted out in the first half, that it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments they make, because in the first half, that Paolo was down low, they got it to him, he was swarmed, and I thought the adjustment was just going to be keep him down there and open up guys like Griffin, Keels, and Roach to shoot, and they basically just said, Paolo, go sit on the perimeter, and he did that and did what he could with it. I just don't think that's the game you can have for him, and he expect him to be efficient at least. Yeah,
he's definitely struggling with physical play down this stretch, which is wild because he's bigger than the guys guarding him. But it's an adjustment period from high school to college, and certainly there's a formula now. We've seen. I mean, we talked about it in January, and part of that formula is like really getting his grill, throw doubles at him, frustrate him, because then it does kind of create a situation where he tends to float a little bit more, where he tends to look to pass more. I do think he does a good job of remaining a plus positive player with his passing, as we saw several times tonight. And as we saw in the Wake Forest game also, where he was, again, struggling to get his shots, but made some nice passes, made, some good decisions there. I think the whole team is struggling with physicality to some extent. You know, and I saw a lot of people on the Twitter feed commenting like, well, it's because they're not calling fouls, and we're on the road and they're not calling fouls. Yeah, but what are they going to do in the dance though, dude?
Yeah.
You're gonna play a Big 12 team. Like, you think Baylor isn't gonna whack the shit out of you? You know what I mean? Or Texas Tech, or worse teams. You know, like that's the blueprint. We're gonna get whacked by every single team playing us for the rest of the game, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I picked the wrong UVA. I was looking at the stats. I was like, hold up. Like,
I do think it when someone on Twitter, James GR20 said once tournament starts, I feel Paolo will be locked in again offensively, and I hope that's accurate. But I feel like we've played in enough big games in the last month that like one of these games it would have clicked. But like I said, it's hard to knock him when you're still dropping between 13 and 17 a night outside of the UVA games. Like, he's still getting his. It's just not to that what we're used to at the beginning of the season. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're complaining about something that we shouldn't be.
No, but you're allowed to, because like results of individual games aren't like the arbiter of like the team's strength over the course of a full season. Like, somebody said, I forget who it was, tweeted at me like, we need to lose an ACC tournament as a wake up call, because other like they need
I hated it. I read that thread, man. I hated that.
I also don't like that argument. We've lost two of the 6 worst losses in Cameron the last like 15 years in coaches last season so far this year. I mean, like, if those aren't wake-up calls, then what are they going to be? We played with our food with Wake Forest. We danced around with some other teams. Like, if there's going to be a wake-up call, when is it? And will it be in the second round of the NCAA tournament? No, you know what I mean? Like, I know, but like the teams we have been screwing around with are all these like 7 to 12 seed types of teams. Like,
for sure.
Like, I kind of still, we talked about this last time we did the show. I don't have much of a doubt when we get to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 that some of these teams we're going to like be really locked in, engaged. Like, Kay is an incredible motivator in those games. It's in those second round games where you're looking ahead. Like, those can be problematic for a team like this. Like, they've got to lock in and prepare for the physicality that's coming. Like you mentioned, Jason Tatum. That South Carolina game is a great example of a game where a team just came and punched us in the mouth. We were looking for fouls. The fouls didn't come, and we had no alternate course of action in that game. Yeah. So like we've got to adjust to that.
I definitely need to see him at not full strength, but I need him to be scary. The scary Paolo we know, UNC. I need to see it at UNC, because that's the biggest stage. That's gonna give me a little like reliever. Like, okay, he'll know how to turn it on when we need to turn it on. But
yeah, I agree with you there.
They're gonna be smacking him and whacking him and doubling him as much as they possibly can.
I do want the not to like foreshadow to the UNC game, but I do want. I can't even speak. I think if they do change AJ, Manic on AJ and put Manic on Paolo, then he has no excuse.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
They might do that. AJ Griffin just dropped 30 points on Brady Manic. They might do that.
I don't think you put a guy like a physical specimen like Paolo, because AJ mostly is a threat as a shooter, right? Like, as you said, he's mostly a threat as a shooter. If his shots aren't falling. Now, granted, he's a very good shooter, but like, I think that's a higher percentage play by them, even though it's a very bad. They have nothing they can do. Like, and I'd rather put him on AJ than put him on Paolo and let Paolo be unstoppable, because I think that's like, you can put him on God mode and then AJ's still going to make threes because he's a good shooter. So then, like, what do you do from there? Like,
hey, man. I'm honestly just trying to get through Syracuse and Pittsburgh, because that Syracuse at the Carrier Dome.
Pittsburgh, bro. We should run over Pittsburgh.
I am, but we should. But it's a game right before UNC, right before Coach K's last game in Cameron. Like, there's going to be a lot of looking ahead to 4 days later. I'm not. They're a god awful team, and we should beat the crap out of them. But like, I don't know, it's a trap game right there. Coach K going against Capel for the last time, and there's a lot of emotions.
Pitt put a hurting on UNC the other night at UNC.
They did, but did they just lose by like 30 to Miami? Like,
that's what I'm not, like I'm saying, I'm not scared of Pittsburgh, but like, there is a trap game there where you got the players looking ahead and got everybody looking ahead, and
the Cuse game is probably the trap one. I agree, just because they're going to shoot so many threes. Like, if they start connecting, then the game gets interesting. I just think a zone is such a terrible matchup against Duke. Like Duke can destroy a zone. So like, unless the Boeheim guys make 15 threes, which is not impossible. But like, unless they make like 15 combined threes, I don't know, man.
But that building that's gonna be 30,000 in there yelling. So and that dome is a little bit different depth of perception to shoot. But I mean, we'll see. I think Syracuse doesn't have Jesse Edwards, right?
Yeah, he's not. They have no one for him at all. They're gonna play like Cole Swider at the 5 or something. Like there's no
Paolo.
Dude, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's real
Easy
bad.
money.
You need to have 25 on Saturday night.
They have almost a 200th ranked defense. I mean, like their defense is bad, real bad, real bad. Like Jimmy's worst bad.
You need to have 25 on. They have nothing. At least Jesse Edwards was like a big man that can, his length, he's athletic, he can block shots.
They're just gonna put Paolo at the free throw line and let him shoot wide open free throws from the middle of the zone all game long. I mean,
hey, tonight though, back to tonight real quick. We've been giving out. We can preview Syracuse. Nothing wrong with that. We kind of gave all of the front court their or the back court their flowers, and we didn't even touch on Williams and Theo tonight. I feel like, we played 8 guys. We played basically 7 because Baker got us 3 minutes and that was it. So Theo came in, had some good buckets, had a few blocks. I don't know if does it say blocks in there. He had 1 block. Okay, definitely altered a couple shots. Mark had a great game. It seemed like he was almost going to be on pace for like a 12 to 15 point night, and just kind of stalled a little bit in the second half. But man, they both, those 2 big men, when Mark goes out, I feel like we don't really miss much when Theo comes in. And we're going to need that come tournament time, especially if we play an older team or a bigger team. Having those 2 being productive in some capacity is awesome.
Oh, shout out Mel. I forgot to shout out Mel. But yeah, Mark Williams, that's the defense player of the year. Obviously, lock. Like he's really like a special defender. Like I was just watching him all game. Like this man just changes the whole landscape of the defense.
4 blocks tonight. Yeah.
4 blocks and probably about like 10 altered shots. Like, and I said, yo, I'm gonna really miss this. A lot of people were telling me, oh, Lively's coming next year. Lively does not protect the rim like this.
No,
they don't protect the rim. This is not normal. Like we haven't seen this since Sheldon Williams. Like this is ridiculous what he does on the court. But yeah, I think it's a lock. ACC Defense Player of the Year.
I honestly think, Ryan, that the drop off between Mark and Theo is pretty noteworthy. It's just that Theo is also an incredible defender. It's just that Mark is not much better. I really liked the defensive game plan on the whole. I mean, like, I know that like people were mad in the first half that Kihei was getting a gajillion threes or whatever, but that's also just so not his game. Like, last game they destroyed us on the inside. This game we completely schemed that out entirely. They basically got nothing on the inside the entire game. And if Kihei Clark isn't shooting like Steph Curry in the first half, we win that game by like 15. So I'm totally okay with what happened there. And somebody made the joke earlier that I was talking about who the Ken Pom game MVP was. Jokes on them. Kihei Clark was the Ken Pom game MVP.
That's nasty.
because he changed the game so much. Because if he's not making a gajillion and a half threes, then they are swamped.
Well, it's funny though, because people are killing me on Twitter when I was saying, Kihei Clark is going to come back to life. Like he's not. He hit 6 threes in the first half. There's no way he's gonna.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even think he was gonna reach 8. Like
he played a phenomenal game. I mean, there's no question. 100%. But like sometimes dudes just play out of their gourd against Duke. I mean, like it just happens. You just got to kind of throw your hands up at the gods and be like, it's one of those days, I guess. Yeah, I thought today was good on the whole. I mean, other than the physicality stuff, which I think is a continuing problem. Everything else I thought was great.
So Duke John is saying we clinched a double bye, which means we don't play till Friday. Then
Friday or Thursday?
Is it Thursday or Friday?
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday. There was a bracket somewhere I saw. You might be right.
It's to set up for 3 games, so I think our championship game is Saturday.
Yep. So yeah, Thursday makes sense.
I'll be in the
man. And Wake Forest loses tonight. Now, I know Zion, you can sit back and you can plug your ears. Is Wake Forest tournament team, Russ?
Yeah, they probably are.
I'm plugging my ears. What? That's not analytics.
But he's going to bring up quad 1, quad 2 wins, and
I don't mind quads. I just don't like 10 palm.
I'm listening, Russ.
Yeah, no. I think Wake is probably fine. I think before today they were like maybe like a 9 seed somewhere in there. I think they're still probably 10, 11. Like, I think it's really unlikely that the ACC gets fewer than like 3 teams into the tournament. So based on that theory alone, like Wake Forest kind of has to be one of those teams. I think Miami at this point, surprisingly, is probably okay. They do have a pretty tough slate down the stretch. Like I wouldn't lose the first round of the ACC tournament if I was them, but they're probably fine. As again, like a 9 seed, 10 seed. I think Wake is in there. UNC is obviously kind of an interesting case study.
They're not interesting. They're not a tournament team, bro.
Their name is what's keeping them around. If you really think about it,
what's going on with college basketball right now, that we have to pretend like just because they're a 20-win team that UNC is a tournament team. This is nasty, bro.
I understand.
Virginia is more of a tournament team, in my opinion,
100%.
than
UNC. But Virginia got the brakes beat off them by some terrible teams.
They have some bad losses, but like they have good wins. Like
that's a team I would not want to see as like a 10 seed in the ACC tournament or in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I don't think you have to worry. They're not going to be in. Yeah, tonight was their chance. Yeah, I think the interesting thing about UNC is just that outside of that one Pitt game and outside of the one Virginia Tech game, they have lost to every quad 1 team and then beaten the unholy shit out of every other like quad 2, quad 3, whatever team. So that means that like their net ranking is not bad. Like somebody tweeted at me like, hey, it'd be great if Duke beating UNC knocks them out of the tournament. I don't think it would affect their net rating that much because we're so much better than them in like every service. Like what they need to do is like lose tonight or lose, one of these not good games or lose quarterfinals ACC tournament. That's the sort of thing that would absolutely nail the coffin shut 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they just keep beating every bad team by double figures and then they lose to us and then they lose to us again in the ACC tournament, I think the committee will almost certainly make them a play-in team. Yes, it's probably because of name, but also because there are very rarely teams that lose every good game and then look like world beaters quad 2 and everything else the rest of the way. Yeah. So it's very, very weird. It's a weird resume.
Yeah. I do want to address.
I'd love to see them lose tonight. Would love to see them lose tonight.
Who are they playing tonight?
They are playing NC State at State.
Okay.
Ooh,
if State could knock them out of the tournament, dude, now they would never let UNC hear the end of that shit. That would be.
I do want to address all because a lot of people I've been seeing a lot of these tweets. I don't know if this guy is the same guy that was tweeting at me, but people are saying Paolo is an elite and all that. We can slow down. Let's slow it down. Relax. We saw this kid drop what was it, 20 in the first half against Gonzaga? Like, come on, man. The kid is elite. Yeah. He's just going through it right now. It's a lot of mental stuff. I think it's more mental than skill ability.
Well, that goes without saying, yeah.
And I think there's a lot to it. Like, there's
NCAA young boy.
I think the other thing is it'd be interesting if Paolo was on a team with less talent and less scorers around him, where like we had to feed him the ball and he had to shoot 20 to 25 a night. I'm not saying he would average a ton more, but like Keels has to get his, AJ gets his, Roach gets his, Morgan. I mean, everybody's getting a decent amount of looks. Like, it's not like we just feed him all game. So yeah. I think the not elite is a little off track, but
they said we've been way too easy on him. No, we literally just slandered Paolo.
Ryan, I think Paolo would score a lot more and that they would lose more games.
Agree. Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
And also a lot of guys want to be that guy. Dude, look at Patrick Baldwin Jr. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we're not even going to go down that route tonight.
Cramps.
A lot of guys want to be that guy until they're that guy. And then they're like, how long until the draft again? What is it? Exactly. Oh, my back. Oh, no. Or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that Paolo it's really interesting. I think that there's a good chance that Paolo does not win ACC Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah, that's cooked.
I think that's probably cooked. I do kind of think there's a world in which Coach K wins ACC Coach of the Year.
That would be fire, but I also think that's going to be very
that's
hard.
Steve Forbes. I mean, how I get it, and I tweeted this out. I think you and I talked about it a little bit, but like, it's been 22 years since he's won it. This year, it's not like, and I get it. The recruiting part has to be an aspect of Coach of the Year. You bring in the best talent, and you take them to win the ACC. Like, what else are you supposed to do? How else are you supposed to win Coach of the Year when you get those guys? But Steve Forbes took a just absolutely trash Wake Forest team and turned them around into a
and it's a team full of transfers. It's not even like he had these guys for years. Like,
I'm not even saying he deserves it.
Okay, you mean?
But yeah. But the Coach of the Year award, just like Player of the Year, is very narrative based. And
True.
if it's his first regular season championship in whatever, however long in the ACC, if we win it by at least a full game, which I think is a reasonable possibility.
Yeah.
And if we only have, like, I think there's also a world in which we only have one of the ACC all first teamers. So then,
I don't think who else is going to get it.
It's not even like they can say like, oh, it's like a Zion RJ year, or it's like a whatever type of year, like in terms of what productivity is on the court in terms of two dominant guys. So I kind of think it's not impossible. I think if you were betting in Vegas, I bet you could get some pretty good odds on Coach K winning ACC Coach of the Year right now, which is crazy to think about because Forbes would be favored. I don't think it'd be Bray. I think Larinaga probably is above Bray, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude.
The thing is, I can see it. If they
feel it,
if they both have end the season poorly, I could see.
Yeah, and if Duke wins out, and like you said, they win the ACC by more than a game, or by a game or more, like, and what else is the coach supposed to do? Like, how do you not win it in the year where you win it by multiple games? You do that, and
that's obviously looking ahead in a big way because we got a big game on Saturday, obviously, but yeah, especially if Paolo doesn't win Player of the Year, because Duke has won so many Players of the Year, and that has knocked Coach K in a lot of years also. Yeah. So
who's your ACC Player of the Year if Paolo doesn't win it?
Alondas Williams.
It's definitely Alondas Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I think may also, like, I don't think that's actually held against Forbes, but like it would be weird if the ACC Player of the Year and the ACC Coach of the Year come from a team that is going to finish like probably 5th in the ACC, 6th.
Yeah.
You know
That'd
what
be
I mean?
funny though. That would be funny.
It'd be an interesting narrative.
But at least we got Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, that's a stone cold lock. He'll probably be first team nationwide also. I'd be pretty surprised if he's not. I don't think he'll win nationwide unless we destroy the end of the season. But
I'll be in Brooklyn, man. I will be in Brooklyn for the ACC tournament.
I might try to make it work, but I don't know.
Man, he's never been to New York before, and
no, and I'm traveling for work the week before, so like we'll see, but I doubt it. I want to try to make it at least for a day or two, but we'll see.
You gotta do it, bro. Coach K's last season, man, last ACC tournament.
I know, and I would love to be able to go to a tournament game if they're somewhere close or some. I mean, they're not going to be somewhere close to the Midwest. I would bet. So it's like, yeah, we'll see. I would love to make it work though. And I can't go. I don't know. I'm a huge March Madness first weekend guy. Like I can't not be in my house watching games on like 5 TVs like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be missing out on that.
I'd be too superstitious to go in the first weekend, dude. I'd be because what would happen? Some Kihei Clark type dude would like ball out against it, and it cut to me in the stands going like,
there'll be memes about us.
I'm not gonna be a meme, dude. You can leave me out of one shining moment, dude. I'm not gonna be a meme as the sad Duke guy, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, Lisa, if you going, hit me up. Anybody going, just hit me up. I'll be there. So maybe we get a little Duke gathering. But yeah, I mean, what else we got? What else we got to this guy? I mean, we haven't been on here for 2 weeks.
I mean, we got Syracuse next. And did they beat Notre Dame tonight, or did they?
They did not. They lost notably. They lost double digits.
We gotta beat Syracuse, man. Like that, we can't take it. That's a bad loss.
Syracuse is very bad. They haven't had a good win since beating Wake Forest at home like a month ago. Since then, they beat Louisville at home. They beat State on the road, but State is real bad. They swept Boston College. They beat Georgia Tech in overtime at home, and then they just lost double figures to Notre Dame. I mean, it's a real bad team, dude. It's just a bad team.
And they only have like 5 guys, like literally 5
Yeah.
rotational players. So like, there's no way this team should be hanging with us for 40 minutes.
Where do you think they rank in terms of minutes, bench minutes in the entire country?
Probably
300th.
Yeah, or first and least bench minutes.
Oh, like
yeah. As in the fewer you have, the lower down you are. So yeah, it's lower than 3. It's 356th. They're third lowest in the country in bench minutes.
356. And isn't their defensive rating like in the 300s too, or 200s?
Their defensive rating is right around 200. It's 197 right now, and that includes their good games early in the season when they had Edwards. I bet the splits over the last month have been pretty dire. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, this is something. Shout out to New Orleans Dookie. With the recent bracket that came out, obviously, doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter. Oh, this is your lane, Russ. Doesn't matter where we end up. Do you have a preference?
So I was tweeting about this a lot the other day. I think the West sucks. I don't want to play in the West. I don't want to have to face Gonzaga in a revenge game in San Francisco.
Oh, that would be
in a best case. You know what I mean?
We did beat them in Vegas, though.
That's true, but you don't want to tempt fate if you can help it, especially just because we generally don't travel west very well. That said, like I forget what the numbers were. I'd have to pull it up, but like your chances as a 3 seed of making the Elite Eight are like 25%ish, and your chances of making it as a 2 seed are like 45%ish to the Elite Eight. I mean, that's a huge difference. Not to mention, I think 3 seeds have lost in the first round like 3 times as many times as the 2 seeds. I mean, like, just the path is easier as a 2 seed. Like, so if you're giving me 2 seed West versus 3 seed in the East, I mean, you're still going to have a harder. It just depends. Like, how much do you think playing in the East helps Duke? Does it help us so much better that having a notably easier path is worse? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But even in the East, though, where would we play in the Elite
Eight? Philly.
But
I mean, like, I mean, Villanova wouldn't be there. Yeah. I mean, it would honestly be like something like Duke, Kentucky, and Philly, or something like this. Duke.
That's the East, right?
Kansas and Philly, Duke. It'd be that, though. Duke, Auburn, and Philly, I guess, something along those lines. Like,
hey, I think it's Midwest is where Chicago. It would be Chicago for the Sweet 16 Elite Eight. Take K back home.
That would be fire. I would go.
I would go to that.
The problem with the Midwest is there's just so many teams that would want that. Like Kansas wants that, Kentucky wants that, Illinois wants that, Purdue wants that. Like a lot of those teams in our area.
Ohio State.
When we were talking to when we had Andre Dawkins on, he was saying that year.
Calm down.
Yo, these comments are wild, man. Come on,
Patricia,
man. What
chill.
are we doing?
Bro, just take a walk. You know what I mean? Put on your respectfully. Put on your New Balance shoes and respectfully take a nice stroll. Log off.
When we were talking to Andre Dawkins last time we were on, he said in 2010 they wanted the South, which I think as Duke fans, and I brought this up, is we always we want the East, we want the East, we want the East. But I think these guys have it a little differently. They said they wanted the South, and I'm sure it differs year by year, but
it depends where the South is. I was about to say this year it's San Antonio. Like that might that's almost West. You know what I mean? Like and plus Baylor will definitely be in the South in San Antonio. There's a chance Texas Tech, would be in the West or in the South in San Antonio. I mean, there's a lot of teams weirdly that there's not a lot of East teams that are top 1 and 2 seeds above us realistically. There's a lot of West teams. There's a lot of Midwest teams. There's a lot of South teams. So we have a decent chance of getting in the East either way, just by nature of like some team isn't going to want to play in the East. They're going to want to play closer to home.
Yeah, the Brandon McShay said if Duke wins out, they will have the East bracket as the 1 seed. Is that true? Like, do we have a chance at a 1 seed if we win out? That's ACC tournament too. Like that's we win the next 6 games.
I think as I said, I tweeted this out too. I was like, yeah, that could happen if we went out and like there's like 9 teams that are in our wheelhouse, like in our general area that we need to worry about.
See,
if like 6 of them lose again in the regular season and lose early in their conference tournaments, and we went out, sure, we could get the 1 seed in the East. Like
one seed is very hard though. Go ahead.
I agree, but let me pull up who it was. Okay,
it'd be very unlikely. Like Auburn has to dip below us in resume in order for Kentucky. Hard. Auburn and Kentucky both. Like, how are they both going to lose bad games and lose the SEC tournament? Like, that's
and the thing, Kentucky has a mulligan right now because they're playing without Ty and Severe. So even if they lose these games, the committee will factor that in.
Yes. So
yeah, I still think it's. I'm not saying if we win out, no matter what happens, we get a 1 seed. But I still think it's obviously like numbers. It's obviously possible, but I think it's a better chance than we're giving them credit for. These guys are playing in much better conferences than we are, and if both Kentucky and Auburn win their conference tournaments, obviously they get it. But like, I just can't see that happening. I hope it doesn't happen.
Well, they won't both win, obviously.
Yeah, duh. Sorry.
Yeah,
Kentucky losing right now.
Yeah.
Playing without 2 starters.
But to Zion's point, they'll definitely get a mulligan there. And Auburn's schedule down the stretch, if I recall, is pretty cakey. They do have at Tennessee. That's not easy. That's certainly harder than anything we have coming forward. That's tough, man. Like I agree that it's probably better than 0, but I would bet it's like 10%. I mean, like it's a low.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as like a Duke tie. There's no individual game tiebreakers in the grand scheme of things, though. Like that's.
I think it does factor in though that Duke did beat them. They'll factor in a little bit.
Maybe, but you look at the resume. They got more quad 1 wins than us. They have 0 quad 2 losses. We have 2. They have 0 quad 3 losses. We have 1.
All right, man. Just give us a chance here, man.
There is a chance. There's a good 10% chance. That's not nothing. That's why somebody was like, "You're a destroyer with logic and statistics." I was like, "I'm not trying to destroy because it's never 0% chance."
Yeah,
but
and I think and somebody pointed out on Twitter. I'll just give him a shout out.
Don't say you're about to say K Millie.
Yeah, K Millie. He's
my boy
right.
Kyle.
I mean, he's right though. I mean, Duke hasn't made a Final Four without being a 1 seed since '94. I mean, that, in my opinion, it speaks volumes. But obviously, every year is different. As long as we stick on the 2 line, I'm happy. I'm content. Just don't get down to the 3 line.
But
if we are for the 3, put a fork in it.
What year? Bagley's team a 1 seed or a 2 seed?
There were 2, weren't they? They played Kansas. They were 1 versus 2 in the Elite 8.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, we should have made it then as a 2 seed to the Final Four. That one should have happened.
Yeah, I I don't like the argument that like 1-2 seed doesn't matter, man. Like it's like the chances of you getting to the Final Four as a 1 seed are just so much higher.
And like you said, the 3-2 is where that even scares me the most. Like, the crappy thing is if we lose 1 more game this year, I think there's a chance we hit that 3 line.
Yeah, but I think it depends. If it's in the ACC tournament, and let's say it's like Virginia
let's say we
Miami,
lose. Let's lose to Virginia or Wake in the finals of the ACC tournament. Are we still a 2 seed?
Yes.
I think that varies depending upon what teams like Villanova, Tennessee, Tech, Illinois.
Villanova should not have any.
I agree, but they've been getting They've been getting the bumps all year.
They lost yesterday too. Right?
Yeah, they did.
They're getting some injury mulligans as well.
They have what, seven losses this year? Like,
But I think this was written before the 2021 season, so it's changed slightly. But in the modern era, there had been, I think, 141 seeds, 142 seeds, 140 of each seed up in the article that I'm reading. 57 of the 141 seeds made the Final Four. 29 of the 2 seeds made the Final Four. 17 of the 3 seeds made the Final Four. I mean, like, it dips almost double every time down. Like,
just give me a 2 seed and I'll call it good, man. Just don't drop to that 3. I'll be devastated.
Yeah.
We just can't lose a dumb one. We can't lose
that's
dumb ones, and it's been a struggle a little bit.
We have 3 dumb ones ahead of us. Like,
exactly.
let's get through those 3, and then we're gonna have 2 more after that in the ACC tournament. So it's like
we'll probably have 3 more in the ACC tournament. Probably, if we're being honest. The chances of a neutral floor. We might be playing a quad 2 game for the championship on a neutral floor in the ACC. That's how bad the ACC's been.
I mean, that's why I feel like it's a little unfair if they. I mean, they shouldn't lose again, but like realistically, it's hard.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win. If they win out, that puts them at winning how many in a row? They've won 5 in a row. That's gonna put them at 11 in a row going into the NCAA tournament. If they win out, they've already won 5. The last loss was Virginia. They beat Clemson, Boston College, Wake Forest, Florida State, and now Virginia.
It's not. It's like statistically not especially likely that a team wins 11 in a row. I think that goes without saying, regardless of the caliber of opponent. But also, this is also the argument that people make for Gonzaga to be a 1 seed every year.
That's true.
We can't play if we're gonna play the Gonzaga doesn't deserve all that shit.
No, bro.
Because our conference is that bad.
Our conference is bad.
We don't have the chances to win the big games. So
our conference is bad, but Gonzaga plays some borderline D2 teams. Come on, bro.
Here's the issue though. The WCC, the top 4 of the WCC is way better than the top 4 of the ACC. But the other issue is at the bottom of the WCC is way worse than the bottom of the ACC.
That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah. But I mean, but also the middle of the bad is also if you look at just quad 4 games, Gonzaga's played 13 and we've played 6. So I mean, to your point, Ryan, they're playing more quad 4 teams. They've only played 1 quad 3 game all year. So the teams in the WCC are either legitimate games or very bad. Like if you're looking at just quad 3 and 4 games, we've played more quad 3 and 4 games combined than Gonzaga has because we played so many quad 3 teams. Because the ACC is malarkey this year. Yeah. WCC does have JUCO gyms sometimes. That's definitely true.
Come on, bro. They play in a high school gym.
They got the bleachers. They got the guy with the metal thing.
Look at the environment Duke was playing in tonight, man. I bet Gonzaga would lose a couple games.
I turned on Gonzaga Pepperdine the other night. They had it literally was a high school gym. Both sides of the gym went up like that. And I was watching my brother. I said, "That is a high school gym right there." My high school played bigger than that. Nothing.
It's a beautiful campus, though. It's a beautiful.
Campus. Top 5. I mean, big time. But don't get me started on Gonzaga. And I hate the fact that everybody keeps bringing up this year. Oh, the WCC is better than the ACC. Oh, are they? Like, I get it, but it's like their first time they've been able to say it. Yeah.
Like we're like Mountain West level this year. It's ridiculous. Like I don't know how that happened.
You're even saying the Mountain West is better than us this year.
There's a very real chance that they could beat the NCAA tournament than us. I mean, like it's pretty wild. But
if I had to guess, I'd say Duke ends up as a 2 seed. I don't think. I hope we win out from here, but I honestly don't know if I want us to win out from here.
I want us to.
It's hard to win. Russ said it's hard to win 11. Then we have to win 17 in a row.
Everything resets, man. That's my thing. Like if this team does not get, it doesn't seem like they do. At least this team does not get like a boost of energy when they play the game. Like lose home, man. So I think if there's any team that you don't want to lose before the tournament, it's this one.
Now, Zion, let me point this. Let me really ruffle some feathers in the chat here. If we're a 2 seed, then what we need probably is for Kentucky to win out and be a 1 seed. Like we need to root for Kentucky because all of the teams that are ahead of us in the seed line, none of them want the East. If we are a 2 seed and Kentucky's a 2 seed, they will get the East. If Kentucky's a 1 seed and Auburn's a 2 seed, Auburn's going to take the South probably. So like if we think Duke is realistically a 2 seed, then we want Kentucky to do really well. Not to mention, if Kentucky wins out, it also boosts our resume.
Does it look like Kentucky's going to win out, Mike?
Well, they may not. I know. That's a problem.
Either way, I hate to be that guy.
We need Kentucky to suck. Then we need Kentucky to fall flat on their faces, which is a lot more fun. But
I'll take that. But I don't want to see a healthy Kentucky team in the tournament. I'm not saying we can't beat them. We can obviously beat them. We've done it before. But like, Yeah, I if I had to choose one team to not play right now, one of a few teams, Kentucky's probably one of them that I would want to see.
They also have some wing issues though. Like they have some of those same issues that UNC has.
Yeah, like I said, I want to reel that back. I am not scared
UNC.
of them. I would be confident and I would bet on us to win that game. It's just a team that it's just a team that I don't want to see.
Is this accurate?
You cannot win the ACC tournament and the NCAA.
Oh no, 2010 we won it.
Yeah.
Did we?
I think.
Oh no, because we won it the year after. I remember we had Kyrie on the bench.
No, we did. We definitely won the ACC tournament in 2010.
Oh, okay,
we did. Yep. All right, Donna. Don't scare us like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, if that's the case, cut it off, man.
You got
Also, if people want a wake-up call for Duke, like they think about 2015, that was a wake-up call. That Notre Dame team was like a top 10, top 5-ish level team that we lost to in the ACC tournament. If we had a wake-up call loss in the ACC tournament this year, it'd be to like a play-in NCAA tournament level team. It would not be we lost to a really good team, we need to wake up. It would be like we lost to another crap team, and that sucks.
and I don't know if you said it, but yeah, Andre just said it in the chat, and they mentioned on the broadcast that in 2015 we had won. I thought it was 11, but we'll go with 12 before we had lost that game and got trounced in the ACC tournament. And I remember there was a different feeling around losing that game. We were getting killed, and that was basically I was watching. I was like, all right, tournament time, let's do it. Like,
I wasn't mad at that. I was
like,
cool.
all right, we got some more rest. Like, let's do it.
It was a good team against a team that we had kind of struggled against already in the year, and
and they were playing for a seed, and we weren't. We had the 1 seed locked up at that point. So like,
he was though. That's no joke. That's crazy, you know. Like, and also that year, to put it in context, we played in that 12-run game. We probably played 4 top 10 games.
Yeah,
like in that 12 run. Not to mention 6 or 7 top 50 teams. Like this year, our run, we'd have 2 top 50 teams in that run realistically. And no top 10, not even a top 30. God, this conference is depressing.
I'm in the chat says we don't want to play Murray State.
Murray State's been I forget who's their player that
they have. Murray State is ranked.
Yeah, dude,
Murray State is ranked.
Murray State's ranked, like Wyoming's ranked. There's
some dudes. They got a good coach. They got some in and out. Good offensive rebounding.
We won't see them any. I mean, unless they get
they could be like an 8-9 or I don't know.
I think Ja Morant, notwithstanding, the OVC generally really struggles in the tournament.
Yeah.
They're generally a pretty low conference, but they're going to be a sexy pick because they just haven't lost in a billion years.
Yeah. Is there? I think we could probably end on this. Is there? So the top 16 teams right now, according to the committee: Gonzaga, Auburn, Kansas, Arizona, Duke, Purdue, Villanova, Tennessee, Illinois, Texas Tech, Texas, UCLA, Wisconsin, Providence. Give me 2 teams that you'd be scared of the most for Duke to play.
In like the Elite Eight or something?
Yeah, like who do you not want to see in your side of the bracket?
Scared of?
Not scared. Scared is the wrong word, but who do you least want to see on your side of the bracket when it comes to those teams?
I mean, probably just like the better teams, like the teams that match up with us really well. I mean, like Auburn, for instance.
Auburn.
Like they'd have Kessler versus Williams, they'd have Jabari versus Banchero, they'd have their guards versus our guards. I mean, that would be a really tough matchup.
Arizona would be a tough matchup for sure.
Arizona, they turn it over a lot. They're kind of like us a lot in that they're young and they
still have front court depth, a solid front court size in their front court.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I think Purdue and Illinois are the 2 that I would not want to see. And I'm normally down in the Big Ten, but I don't know if we could hang.
I want to see Purdue. I want to see Purdue because I am not a big believer in Zach Edey, number 1. I think if you put Mark Williams in front of Zach Edey, he's in hell.
I don't think. Let me be on the record as saying I don't believe that in a bubble. But continue your point, and then I'll tell you why.
I believe. I'm not a believer in Zach Edey, but I would love to see that matchup. Just with Jaden Ivey against our guards defensively. I'm all for that. That's just good basketball. I want to see that happen.
Illinois too. I'm not a huge. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Illinois. Purdue, they're just a bad defensive team. They're real bad. Like offensively, I think Zach Edey is bigger than Mark and stronger than Mark. I think that
I don't know, but I don't know.
Well, he's definitely bigger, and
he's bigger than him. Yeah, for sure.
And he's definitely like wider and would get position. Like I don't think there's much of a question there. The problem is they can't defend because they are slow on the perimeter. And then if you've got either Trevion Williams or Zach Edey in there, like I think that's a game where Duke just ends up doing a lot of small ball and like just leave Zach Edey out there to get some boards and some twos. Then that's fine. Like we'll cook him 1,000 times all day. The Zach Edey Taco Fall comparison is not that bad, except that they're not really playing like an inordinate amount of drop coverage with him. Like they're letting him try to defend people in space, and it's not working out for them very well. But like Zach Edey took Kofi Coburn and made him look like a child, dude. Like he's a big MF.
True. Yeah.
In terms of those top teams, I also think that Baylor is just the sort of really obnoxious,
they're annoying.
Very physical. Like they don't have the talent that we have, but they do have good talent. They got good wing talent in particular, and they're just bulldogs. I mean, like the whole way down the line, they're a team that would whack the hell out of us. They return guys from a team that won the title. That would be pretty tough.
Barb's Jill 16 on Twitter says, as a Purdue student, I can tell you they want to play us so bad.
No, they want it. Oh, they want it bad.
I'm far more concerned, Ryan, about those 10 seeds that we would look at and then go like, we'll beat them. Let's look ahead to like whatever. I'm a little more concerned about that at this juncture than I am about like 3 seeds and 4 seeds.
I agree. I just don't have those teams on the top of my head that I know of that I'd be scared of to pick right now. But
this is the thing. Obviously, I'm not scared because I think Duke can be the best team in the country.
100%.
And I tweeted it. I feel like our issue right now is I feel like if we get 5 guys clicking, obviously you can't get 6 with because whoever's not clicking is going to be out of the picture. But if you get 4 or 5 guys clicking at the same time, I don't see how anybody beats us. Our problem is we have so much inconsistency in hierarchy, whether it's from Paolo to Mark to Jeremy to Wendell. We don't know who's going to show up that night, and that's our problem. But if we get them clicking all at the same time, I don't see how anybody can beat us. I just don't. Like it's not even a biased take. I just don't. It's been
a minute since we've seen that though, which concerns me a little bit. But you're right. If this, and we've all said it since the beginning of the year, if this team can click it and get it together, all 5 or 6 guys, no one's touching this team.
But is it? We're the most talented team in the country in terms of talent. I think that's not especially debatable. Is it even realistic to imagine that we will get all of them playing their best basketball at the same time? Like I don't know,
but you also don't need like the best game from Wendell doesn't have to be 15 points. It can be 8, 8, 8, and 8. Like I mean, it can be different best games are different for each
3
player.
to 4 guys that are on every even game.
But that's the thing. I don't even think it needs to be like, oh, everybody needs to have 14, 15 points. Like I think like Ryan said, a good Wendell game could be 8, 7, and 8. Trevor could add in 14.
I agree.
And then Mark Williams could add 10 and 10. That's a good game for him. Paolo has his 20.
Yeah.
If you get that consistently from everybody, I don't see how he could be beat. But I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's like, oh, these guys can't work together. I think there could be games where they all mesh. We just haven't seen it yet.
The fact that we've been pretty good defensively for the most part, there aren't many games where we've completely shut the other team down, but there have been very few games where we've let them, even in our wins, really get away from us. That's something that Duke has not had a lot of years. I feel like this is a team where I do like the defensive versatility to the point where
100%.
Yeah, just like if we have 3 guys that are on offense, it's just that the offense, even though our metrics are really good on the offense, the offense just gets it gets stagnant. I mean, what it's on, our assist rate is one of the best in the country because when we move the ball, we're incredible. when we move the ball.
Exactly. And you know what I noticed today? And I don't know if everybody watches the halftime show. Sometimes I like it. But Seth Greenberg is becoming a Duke fan. Seth Greenberg used to absolutely destroy Duke. And at the half, you can almost tell he's like a fan. He's like, Duke's offensive efficiency is terrible. Like, they need to do this. Like, he's like, why are they not? Like, and he sounds more like a fan than he does like an analyst. And I like it. Like, I like seeing Seth like that. But he's right. Like, we are not an efficient team on offense. Like, and there's times where we move the ball really well, but there's other times where everybody's stagnant, standing around, and Paul's on the perimeter. So, I mean, if we can get this team, like you said, with the ball movement and everything, pretty tough to beat. And what I'm looking for in March is if there's the one guy that's going to step up and take it to another level, or like if AJ or Keels is going to be the one to step up and drop 15 to 20 in every game, kind of like didn't Winslow go off in 2015? Matt Jones had a couple good games, like Winslow, and then just having a different guy step up every night is going to be interesting to see who can shine, because like we said before and talked about it, we got no NCAA tournament experience on this team outside of Theo. I think Theo played in it a couple times, but
and he scored like no points.
Yeah. But so like the experience factor, and like Andre said, Andre was a freshman, and he said he got taken out of the Final Four game or the national championship game and never saw the court again because coach saw it in him. He was just nervous. He's like, it's different, man. And so I think that part of it is underrated as well.
Yeah, well, knowing that the next two plays could possibly be the end of your season in some way is
and your career for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was interesting down the stretch of this game, even though we won and we were converting, watching Duke's offense versus Virginia's offense. Like, if AJ doesn't make like one of those shots, do you call that a good offensive possession? Right? Like, is it only offensive possession because he made it? Because I would argue that some of them were, whereas Virginia like ran set plays. And
very simple, running Kie Clark off a curl and he's open.
But then like they knew where, and obviously that comes with playing with each other a little longer than these guys have. But like, I sometimes I worry that the playbook is just so simple because these guys haven't played together for very long. Like we talked about Andre a little bit, that it'll come down to, it's a good possession if it goes in. If it doesn't go in, it's a bad possession.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like they always mention, Duke is leading the ACC in scoring, 80 points per game. That's all pure talent, not good offense. Not good offense. Like,
talent advantage is bonkers for us in the ACC. Like, I think I'd mentioned, if you look in the past years, like at the teams that finish in like the top 4 of the ACC, you almost always see at least one like NBA draft level player on a team as you go down the line. Like you can see like 8 to 10 NBA draft level players. And this year, in terms of like obvious guys who would definitely be picked in the first, let's call it 45, 50 picks of the NBA draft, there are 6 guys in the ACC, and we have 5 of them. You know what I mean? Like that's a dumb advantage. Like we have to capitalize on that advantage.
Who's the one guy not from
Blake Wesley from Notre Dame?
Okay, Blake Wesley.
He'll be a first rounder. I think like maybe guys like Laravia and Williams could like sneak into that mid-second, maybe. Like maybe Wong from Miami. I kind of liked him a while back, but he's not been special. Sebron, like,
not a great shooter.
Sebron might be a guy you take on like a flyer, but I think he should probably come back. I know I made some people mad saying that like UNC's best pro prospect is probably Caleb Love, realistically, which is crazy to think about, but is true. So there's no other real draftable guys on there. No, Baycott's not I don't want to be flip like I was earlier in the year, like and say some like wild stuff, but like he's not the sort of guy that the NBA drafts. It's like the Kentucky guys who got mad at me for saying at the beginning of the year that Shibwe won't get drafted after this year. He may still not get drafted. Like he's not like Drew Timme is not going to get drafted. Like
he may have a chance.
There are great college players, but they've got to work their way through the Summer League and the G League and stuff.
Yeah.
And you need NBA talent at the end of the day to feel really, really good about your.
Yeah, Alondas might get it. I mean, he's averaging like 23. They'll give him a shot. They'll give him a shot.
I think if you told me that he was going to go sometime after pick 40, I would not be stunned.
Yeah.
I think Laravia might be long term the more interesting guy potentially.
I mean, he could shoot it. Definitely could shoot it.
And he can pass. He's got and he's got some real size to him for what he does there. I don't know, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Point is, talent advantage is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think we don't got nothing else.
Who else would it even be for? You know what I mean? Like
the interesting part is someone actually at UNC, a former player was saying this kid Styles they have off the bench. He's claiming that he's the best pro prospect, but he just hasn't played. He's a freshman. But
you know how many guys with like high potential like then ride the bench for 2 years and then
we'll never know unless he starts emerging. But
in the NBA, you got to go Garza, Andre. I think there's no question because Garza.
You talking about Garza from last year?
Yeah, Luka Garza. Because Garza's a way better shooter.
Yeah, he's a better shooter, but they're kind of very similar prospects.
Yeah, they're very similar, and then Luka Garza can shoot threes on top of it. That's why I have no hesitation on that call.
Yeah, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in again. I forgot to shout out the Devil's Den. Obviously, shout out the Devil's Den too. Go subscribe to them.
Shout out your theme song. Who is it that produces the theme song?
Oh, shout out my guy Dean. My guy Dino Loco. He's actually a Duke graduate. He makes beats. I forgot his at
nobody else.
Oh yeah, it's GE. It's GE. I didn't see the at. I needed to see the at.
Yeah.
But it's
that beat goes hard, man. That's a good beat.
Go check him out. Man. Go check my guy out, man. Get Loco right there.
There it is.
Duke graduate. So, but yeah. We'll be back maybe Thursday. I said Thursday.
Saturday.
Maybe Saturday. We got some shows to knock out, but definitely next Monday we got a special show. Y'all figure out that next week though.
Capel post game.
Huh?
Capel post game.
Yeah, imagine. I mean, he better give us a 30-point win because that better not be a loss.
Yeah.
He might be coaching for his job, but he needs it.
Hey, come back to.
Imagine him on the bench next to Shire. That'd be awkward.
That would be sick. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh man. On that note, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all.